Hi guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. It's been a while. I don't know if I remember how to do this. We're gonna go for it. This video is probably gonna be a little rough as I get back into the swing of things. So in this video, I'm going to be taking colors and turning them into different characters. Also, if you do like this video, please make sure to watch some of my other videos. I have loads of content out there, and I'm sure you haven't watched some of them, and there's definitely some gems in there. So maybe go take some time and click on another video after this. And on with the video. So since the rainbow begins with it, I started with red. So for this video, I'm going to do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple just to keep it simple. Just a couple colors that are like the main ones. So for all of them, I wanted to stick with only using that color for the coloring, just with different like shades and tints and all that. So for all the colors, I want to make them based on like the emotions they're associated with, and also different items that are those colors, like blue being water and stuff like that. So for red, it's mainly associated with anger, but also love and like being really impulsive. It just has a lot of like energy to it. So I decided to go for like this flirty bad girl character. And since this was the first one, I didn't know how much effort I was going to be putting into this and like kind of the style I was going for with all these. So I definitely put in way too much effort. Like I even drew props. So first I started by sketching out the basic design. And you know, bad girls have like half shaved hair and leather jackets and ripped jean shorts. So that's what I put the character in. Also, I decided that for some reason she's at a bar because I don't know, bars are a place with flirting and a lot of energy, and I don't know, bar fights, those are for angry people. So it just seems like her cup of tea, or I guess cup of alcohol, probably since it's a bar. But you know, seems like she'd enjoy the place. Now, with the actual drawing, there's a lot of problems here. So first I had some problems with like the swoop of the hair. It looks way too like intense and unnatural. Then the face angle's like off because like the shaved hair is going too much into the area where her eyes should be. So it's like the face is off-centered. And then the perspective of like the hand and arm holding out the glass, that like shoulder area is really weird, and it's all, ooh, no, I don't like looking at that. The hand's pretty good though. The area with like the legs and that have like the shorts on feels a little flat, especially on the right leg. And I did just copy paste the right leg, so the angle is a bit wonky. Oh, and also the actual like, I don't know, bar table thing that she's sitting on is not in the same perspective as her, so it looks really weird. And that's the end of the part where I just complain about everything wrong with the drawing for a while. So then I made her hair dyed red and like also show some of the natural dark hair she has, because you know, bad girls dye their hair, and especially dye their hair red. Then I had the skin be pink and like everything else be like more dark reds and desaturated reds. Then I didn't add any shading since I was making 6 of these, and that's a lot. I wanted to keep it simple. I just add some blush and some dimension to the eye. And I did add a white overlay to the glass. And I don't really like the actual drawing because there's so many problems, especially in the face, that just kind of bring it down. Also, I feel like the expression could have been pushed a bit more. It's just kind of there, kind of generic. But I did put a lot of effort into designing the character and the drawing, so I feel like this character is probably one of the best and really represents the color. Then we move on to orange, and I didn't actually know what to do for orange at first. Like, when you think orange, what like emotions you really associate it with? I mean, like, maybe for items I think of an orange, but I'm not making an orange character that's just based on a fruit. So I think I looked this one up, and like, what I kind of found was that, kind of represents excitement. And most of the traits it had were just like toned down red traits or an in between of red and yellow, which we'll talk about yellow next. So I decided to go for like this girl who's like really good, like a straight A student, goody two shoes. But here she's like kind of letting loose, really excited about something, really happy, really pumped, and just showing that like fire in her breaking out. I don't know what any of that means or what it has to do with orange, but I drew it and it's orange colored, so you know what? It's thematic to orange anyway. And then I put her in these kind of preppy clothes to show that she's a good girl. And I don't want to spend too much time just bashing this drawing like I did the last one, but there were a lot of problems. I did try to like speedrun this. I think I had like 10 minutes where I was like sitting down and had extra time. And I'm like, I'm just gonna knock out a drawing in 10 minutes. So I tried to get this one done really fast. So there's a lot wrong. So I started with 2 arms being bent, and then they're a little out of proportion. The top part of the arms, like above the elbow, were above the elbow. When did Elmo get here? Above the elbow were a bit too skinny, and I also, copy pasted. So we like to avoid that where we can. But I'm lazy. Also, like, the head wasn't centered, so then when I centered it, the hair was, like, at different thickness levels, but I fixed that later. I tried to draw the legs with, like, them being kind of spread apart and bent, but those were really not looking right and were horrible, so I started over. I decided I was gonna actually slow down. Then I had one leg down and one leg kind of bent up, which is what I originally envisioned, but it was just kind of scary and hard, so I didn't go for it. Then I changed the arms to also kind of mirror that, because I wasn't happy with them both being pumped like that. So I had one shooting up in the sky. So I tried to start on that leg that was like bent, but I panicked because I've never done any sort of leg like that. I've never had one bending backwards away from the viewer, so that was scaring me. So I moved on to the arm. Honestly, not too much went wrong. I just drew some lines, copy pasted that other hand since I drew one okay hand and I'm not going through that process again. The arm does look a bit flat though, which, it happens. I don't know how to make my drawings not flat. So the other leg was really easy, but I did cut off the shoe. I should have moved it, but I'm a coward and I hate drawing shoes, so I just kind of left it there. Then I just colored it with some orange and browns, tried to focus a lot more on those like neutral brown colors, cause she's more of an uptight character, so she doesn't have as much color in her. I want to just have her hair be like an intense orange to kind of bring that life and excitement that's in the rest of the drawing. And then it was done. I feel like this one's a bit boring and, there's a lot of wonky aspects because I did try to be speed. I still don't know exactly how it's related to orange. I kind of lost that along the way. But like, honestly, what is orange? What's an orange character? I have no idea. So, oh well. Then it was time for yellow. So yellow is like surprise, shock, fear. Think of like a caution sign. It jumps out at you, usually it's trying to warn you of something, afraid of something. So I want to draw this character recoiling. I thought maybe put him in comfy clothes, since they're like a very uncomfortable person, so comfy clothes to try and combat that. Then I'd give him spiky hair to be like super shocking and intense and, like the color yellow. Then just generally very sweaty, nervous. I gave him those classic shaky eyes with all the lines and where it totally breaks my style. And I also gave him that classic mouth that makes you question where the lower jaw went. Because it doesn't look intense enough with the lower jaw, but without the lower jaw, if you think about it too long, you realize that something's wrong. It gets even worse if you try and draw a tongue with that mouth. But, I felt like it needed that weird, like, face-breaking mouth to show the intensity of the fear in this moment. Then originally I had his hands like grasping his arms to coil more inward, but then I decided I really wanted it to be more, instead of an inward coil, to be facing away from whatever like implied danger there is. So he had the arms like lifting upward and away more instead of coiled inward. Kind of like that left leg is doing. That was the main thing that made like the arms feel off, is that left leg was rising up, so the arms kind of mimicking that made the pose look a bit more natural. And I think, speaking of that leg, I think that like the part below the knee is too long, and also like I don't know, there's just something off about it, and the angle of the foot doesn't like match with the leg, I don't think. And I think it might be too skinny below the knee, and I feel like that bend of the knee won't actually intersect to like the center. I don't know, the leg's very messed up. I can go on about what might be wrong about that leg. It's just bad. I've never drawn a leg like this at this angle with it like kind of upwards. I don't know. I generally don't even draw positions that let you see the bottom of the foot. So this was a new experience for me. And it went kind of bad, but I think if I had a bit more time to draw this, I would have had a good chance at making it look better. It has promise. Then I tried to draw the other leg and that wasn't working out, so I just re-sketched it and then drew it. And I think the torso is too small for the legs, because that leg definitely looks really long compared to the torso. Like, there's something definitely wrong with all the proportions in this drawing. Then I threw in the spiky hair, and that might be a bit too much, a bit too comical and large and stiff. I could have had more frizzy hair than like perfect spiked hair. Then I colored it in a lot of like dark desaturated yellows and had that main poppy yellow come from the hair to really accentuate that part that's like really shocking. And that was it. Not too bad overall, besides a lot of proportion issues and like the hair does feel a bit out of place. Also, for all of these, I've been putting little like airbrush balls of color behind each of them. Just try and separate them from the background more and show that raw color I've been using. Now, we did talk about 3 of the 6, but this video is getting a bit too long, so I am gonna have to turn this into a part 2. So if you want to make sure to see that, then you better subscribe. Also, comment down below which one's your favorite so far. And while you're down there, go to the description and follow all my social media you see there. And like this video. And I will see you all next week.